welcome to part 2 of the smart car. Crazy how quickly the weather changes from the last video, isn't it? But in the last video you guys saw me pick up the smart car. Got it running. Honestly, super simple, super easy, but again, thank you to Nick for guiding me into the right direction. We're gonna start the video off. First time I brought the smart car to the lot, because there are a lot of surprises with this car that I did not know about. And I am at the lot dropping off the little smart car. I have one more test to do. But yeah, I'm gonna start it again and take it down the street real quick. There's no traffic. See how well it runs mechanically. Just want to point out these rotors. Look at that, gone. But it looks like the brake pads are at least at 60%. So I want to give Nick credit, a lot of credit actually. He's the one who suggested that I try this whole disconnect battery thing. Would I have kind of thought of it myself? Maybe. That's not a guarantee. I did tell you guys I didn't know where to start. And his guidance, as always, is immensely helpful. So Nick saves the day again with another car. So I'm going to unstrap it, unload it, and we're gonna go on our first drive. Hopefully successful drive. Threw the jump box on it. Look at that, lights are on. So hopefully it starts again. Okay, let's do this. Beautiful. Okay, e-brake down. Okay, little tires, very bouncy coming off the trailer, so didn't record that. But the one thing Nick told me is try this, see if it'll keep running. Make sure alternator's good. So our only issue is the darn battery. So I'm gonna plug this in again, just let it warm up, take care of the trailer, and go on a quick drive down the street. Me and Noah are doing our maiden voyage. Okay, you ready to put the roof down? You're gonna do it. Push this button right here. Push this button and hold it. Yep. This? Push and hold it all the way down. There you go. Keep holding. Okay, I'll do it all the way. Having a hard time reaching it. So what do you think? Okay. Oh, wait. Need to unfold the mirrors. Okay guys, we ain't gonna go far because I feel front tires, there's something with the alignment. Because it feels like it's pigeon-toed, if that makes sense. So that could be the collision or whatever damage that they were talking about. So I'm not even gonna go fast. We're literally doing 10 miles per hour. Yeah. So there we have it. Look, steering wheel is all out of whack. And we have our traction or whatever light. But look how much movement I'm doing, and essentially nothing is happening. So we'll need to get this thing lifted up and thoroughly inspected. When I was strapping it down in the morning, and the straps, could kind of see that it was slightly off, but honestly I didn't really think much of it. Curious if just an alignment will do it, or we'll need some control arms or something along those lines. But yeah, we are not at 100%. But I mean, for what it is, feels fine. A single clutch transmission definitely feels weird, but yeah.
I hear something.
You hear the brakes because the rotors are kind of rusted because the car hasn't been driven in a long time. So I might have to hold off getting a battery. I guess kind of what's the point of getting a battery if we won't necessarily be able to drive it, if that makes sense. But it runs and drives. It moves under its own power. We did like 15 miles per hour and I felt we went up to third gear. I don't know how many gears this transmission has, But the little thing runs and drives. That's by far the biggest and most important issue. But I am curious what is going on with this. So again, I don't see any damage here. But if we look at this tire, say it's a little bit this way, and this tire, well, honestly, it kind of seems the same. Well, we made it to this point. The car starts. I don't necessarily think there's a mechanical issue, unless they think, you know, steering or whatnot is a mechanical issue, which is fine. But I think next thing, probably tomorrow, I'll return, lift it up on a jack, see if there's any damage underneath, bent control arms or something along those lines. If not, figure out maybe it's like a hydraulic assisted power steering. I don't know what the proper term for it is. Maybe that's out of balance. I have no idea. Maybe the fact that it hasn't been driven, maybe it needs to be recalibrated. I have no idea. But even at this point, I guess worst case scenario, I could take it back to the auction as a run and drive. I'll double my money, but I'm looking to more than double my money. And just look at this little thing. Heck yeah. So I just want to stand next to the car, show you guys the size. I am 6'3". Look how small the car is. Like, I seem like I'm a lot bigger than this darn thing. I can't lift it, but I mean, just look.
What do you think, Noah? Is it your size? No.
The next day.
Back at the lot, and it is time to take a look at this small car. Just starting to bring stuff down from upstairs to lift it up, but it's rolling. But I want to show you guys from this angle. Look, that wheel tire more or less straight, and this one is definitely turned. So I am going to start with this side and assume that we have something off with this side. Let's take a look. Oh yeah. See that? That should not be happening. And I'm curious what it is that's making that happen. So we have damage underneath. Yay us. But it looks like all the control arms here are okay. I see what it is. I think I know what it is. So as you guys could see, damage went right here, right underneath. Looks like they hit, I don't know, curb or something along those lines. But when I move it, I vaguely see it. There's brackets that I'm assuming go on top of here, and they are broken. This is why we're having this issue. So, obviously this would be a lot better and easier with a lift. Bless you. But I'm thinking of just taking it to my mechanic. Have him take a look at it, pull it apart, and if we need to replace something, radiator, I don't know what else is under there, we'll get that replaced. As far as I can see, there's nothing that popped out from the wheel side, rotor side, but it's definitely something internal that's not holding the whole steering column down. So this is our issue, but very, very happy that this car started, that it runs, took it down the street. More or less minor suspension work, and I'm assuming I'll need to do an alignment and whatnot, just minor stuff. I looked at these rocker panels, new, they're like 80 bucks. So they're honestly not even that expensive for this car. So depending on how much, you know, all of this work is going to be, will depend how much I spend on this car. But regardless, there was a slightly newer smart card that went through with half the miles at a dealer auction today. but it was base model, cloth interior, manual windows, like base model. And that one did, I think, $7,500. That's dealer price, plus auction fees, plus say detail, whatever. What is the dealer gonna list it for? So even at that point, I mean, I got this one 7 times cheaper. So I'm very, very happy with it. Plus this one looks better. But yeah, I'm gonna drop the car and probably take it to my mechanic and have him figure this one out and be done with it.
2 weeks later.
Okay guys, quick second, I'll let you take a guess. What am I in? There we go. Back in the smart car. So, said the front left tire was flat. That little triangle, he said, comes on and off. And then airbag, which was there obviously. New battery was installed, rack and pinion was replaced. And what happened originally with the first rack and pinion?
Next left.
Oof, that almost startled me. What happened with the first rack and pinion was, as soon as he hooked it up, he's like, something is off electronically. He tried to reset it, recalibrate it, nothing worked.
Route recalculation.
I don't know what it's doing. And then he hooked up this
left
to the new one. Basically, he installed the new rack and pinion and then connected that, and he said all lights went away. So it's obviously, oh, that's gonna drive me nuts. Obviously, it's an electrical issue. So I had to go back to LKQ and have him replace the rack and pinion. And the new one came out of California. He plugged it in. He's like, everything is great. So here we are. But that obviously delayed the project. So heading back to the lot, and I guess we'll kind of go from there and see what needs to be done. What else will need to be done? There is a road update. Turn off the kind of annoying navigation voice wherever the heck it's trying to take me. The only thing I kind of noticed with this car is, since it's a cab, it's letting air through, so it's a little bit noisier inside the cabin. I'll have to see either it's like a, I don't know, a seal or something that came off, or if I could fix it in any way. But mechanically it runs great. The steering wheel is obviously not straight, so I'll need to take it through alignment, see if there's a tire that has like a nail in it that's letting air out, figure that out, and then obviously scan for the airbag codes. But we're doing 65 miles per hour. It's running smooth, comfortable, no weird rattles or anything. Pretty neat little car, and actually heck of roomy on the inside. Because I am 6'3", and I would say I am pretty darn comfortable in this thing.
Much later.
I have decided to take the smart car home. I didn't show you guys anything at the lot because I showed up, and then a few minutes later some buyers showed up, sold the car, did paperwork, and anyways, I'm going home. So I will take a look at, you know, whatever I said I was going to take a look at, order one more part for this car, and essentially I'm taking it home just to see how well it drives, make sure check engine light doesn't come on. But honestly, it feels great. I don't feel a misfire or any loss of power. Considering this is a 3-cylinder 1-liter car, it's actually, I mean, it's good. Well, obviously it doesn't weigh much. 4 teenagers could probably pick this car up easily. But so far, enjoying the experience, and we're that much closer from especially where we started. I wasn't even expecting a running car, but here we are.
The next day.
I am back at the lot with the smart car, and I have my scanner connected, and it looks like we are actually ready for DEQ. So we have 0 codes found, 1 monitor not available, 8 okay and 1 incomplete. With 1 incomplete, we will still pass, but I am curious if it'll tell us which one isn't ready. But like I said, mechanically, this thing runs really well. It doesn't skip a beat. So incomplete, secondary air monitoring system. Anyways, it will pass, but what I actually want to check is the airbag. And I think this is my airbag computer. Here are the two codes. What do we have? B1053 and B11D1. Stored current, the ignition circuit of the passenger emergency tensioner retractor has high. I will try to clear it, see what happens, because airbags were now blown. I highly doubt that it'll do anything, because if it's a resistance thing, like high circuit, then that will need to get fixed. And this is ESP. I'm assuming I know what the ESP is for. Self-test fault, steering angle sensor. Yep. I still have yet to take it through alignment, but I am curious what that retractor code is for. Typically it's just a seatbelt retractor. I am kind of hoping I don't have to replace it. I highly doubt that they are expensive, but it's just extra work. But obviously if I need to do it, I will do it. It can be very difficult on a car like this. But I still need to clean it up, you know, do minor things with it. I ordered a new side skirt yesterday, or rocker panel, whichever you choose, the one at the bottom. And that should get delivered next week. But man, I kind of really like daily driving this thing. The other thing I kind of looked into is the noise here. But I'm assuming because, you know, it has 158,000 miles. You see how this one seals pretty well and that one doesn't. And you push it down, it has very minor play, but that's what sucks up the air. And all the rubber, I guess gaskets or whatever you want to call them, weather stripping, they seem to be fine. So this is one of those things I don't think I can fix unless I install an aftermarket, like a cover, you know what they have for moonroofs and whatnot. And that would essentially deflect the air to kind of go over. So that's an option, actually. So I'll see. If it won't be too expensive, I'll get it done. Not that it's a big deal. Obviously, it doesn't affect the drivability whatsoever. It's just more of a comfort thing. And I don't know what kind of buyer I'll get with this car. Picky buyer, not a picky buyer. What kind of people even buy these cars? Will they care about something like that? I don't know. Personally, I probably wouldn't be a big fan daily driving it above, you know, 45, 50 miles per hour because of that noise. So freeway speeds, I don't like it. But city driving, you know, if you're kind of running errands, I don't think it's that bad. You know, until 40, 45 miles per hour, it's not terrible. Anything higher than that, to me personally, it starts to become a little bit annoying. But that's the update with the smart car. I'll probably continue driving it, honestly. I'm really enjoying it. Oddly, I am liking this little car.
Several days later.
I have been driving this thing today. Took it in to get the alignment done. Got the alignment done. Steering wheel is straight, still runs straight, but I still have the exclamation point. And I know it pointed to steering angle sensor, so that's something I'll probably need to look into. But I'm thinking maybe have Nick come look at it. But the goal right now is actually, it's cold outside and windy, but I am going to get my pressure washer started and kind of go through the crevices of this car from the outside, because I will not be taking it in to get detailed. Detail will be, you know, $150, $200. But this car is honestly super small, and it's not like filthy, as in it's a darker interior, so there's no like crazy stains or something along those lines. So I think I could do this myself. I will also probably disconnect the seat, because I was looking at the airbag code and some people reminded me that, hey, it could just be disconnected from the bottom for whatever reason. And when I got the car, the battery was, you know, obviously kind of messed with. So maybe a wire kind of got, I don't know, disconnected, who knows. So that's the plan. I will take a look at that, clean it up as much as I can. And yeah, we're just trying to move forward to get it finished up and listed and sold.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
So here we are, hour and a half, 2 hours later. Got the smart car cleaned up, outside and inside. Outside, I didn't use any soap. I didn't wipe it down. Literally just with the pressure washer. Went through the crevices, the wheel wells, the wheels, more or less just to like do a good clean, and then I'll either take it through a car wash or hand wash it with actually soap and wipe down. Interior is clean, ready to go. I checked that airbag light, couldn't figure anything out obvious. There's one spot that I think could be the culprit, and it's the actual airbag restraint thing. The connector basically doesn't sit on it super well, but I tried starting the car and actually like putting my fingers underneath the seat and putting some pressure on it. That didn't work. I checked the retractor on the passenger side. Everything seems to be fine. I disconnected a few of them, reconnected just in case it's a connection issue. Doesn't seem like that fixed my issue. So I think I'll have to reach out to Nick about the triangle sign and about the airbag. But I have my big fancy computer hooked up, so I'll try this before I reach out to Nick. But honestly, it kind of seems like I will, I'll probably have to do that. But at the very least, still making progress, kind of slow-ish progress. I was hoping that within the last hour and a half I would get everything dialed in, but it's not always as easy as, you know, I had it planned in my mind. But nonetheless, progress is being made.
Several days later.
I have a new Seatbelt retractor, basically whole assembly. And I will start pulling all of this apart to replace that. Honestly, I've never done it on one of these cars, but it can't be that difficult. It's a smart car, very small, and there's plenty of room from what I can see. So I won't be recording none of this because I'm trying to do start to finish and I don't want the video to be very long, but just showing you guys minor updates of my progress. And hopefully once I'm done, we won't have an airbag light on. The last thing to do will be the traction control, which Nick is hopefully going to help me with.
Soon after.
Unfortunately, these are different. Either they are different side or whatnot, but the one on the right hand side is the one I received from LKQ. The one on the left is the one I need. Obviously, visually, you guys could already spot a few differences. The two connectors right here, or the two sides, they are totally opposite. And then the one I have has a connector, and this one has an opening for a connector, but this one does not come out. So unfortunately, kind of a waste of time. But if you guys have been following the channel, I often say that this is the reason why I stay away from rebuild title cars or vehicles that need, you know, this type of work, because very often, more often than I would like, maybe 40% of the time, parts come in either damaged or incorrect. So now I will have to leave this thing like this. I mean, taken apart with all the tools, because obviously I'll need them. Yeah, and have to make another phone call, probably wait on hold with LKQ, and explain everything and have them send me another replacement, which is unfortunate, but here goes another 2-3 days. But this is how it goes.
Several days later.
And I believe the smart car is done. I cleaned up the interior, got a new Seatbelt installed, and just finished up the side skirt. Everything looks great. Everything is peachy. I started the car, still had an airbag light on, but I cleared it with my scan tool and it turned off. So right now, taking it through the car wash to the lot, getting it photographed and getting it sold. Kind of happy I got to experience it. Honestly, super cool car. Two outstanding issues: the windshield has a crack and the traction control light. So I didn't fix that because it needs a new steering angle sensor. Mercedes wants, I think, around $450 for it, and there's only one used one for sale. The guy wanted $200 for it, but he started playing stupid games, and I almost, like, out of principle, yeah, I didn't buy it because I was like, you know what, you're playing dumb games. Go play Xbox, go play PlayStation. Like, I'm here to do business. And if you wanna, I reached out and he started to raise the price. More or less, hey, if you want it, you're gonna pay this price. And it's like, don't be dumb. I'm here to do business. If you wanna sell it, I'll buy it. But now when you start raising the price on me, it's dumb. So I will try to sell it as is. Obviously, it's not an expensive car. I have no idea what I'll list it for. Maybe 3 grand, somewhere around there, see what happens. But aside from that, mechanically it runs great. It's ready for emissions. No issues aside from the cracked windshield and the traction control light. But obviously that's nothing super major, especially for a car like this. But let's get it to the car wash, get it washed and photographed and hopefully sold rather quickly.
Soon after.
Let's do one final walk around. It's starting to rain again before rain comes in. Open that up, starting to photograph it. But mechanically it runs great. It shifts good, it doesn't overheat. I mean, it's a great little daily driver. And whoever will buy this car is essentially, you know, looking for something very fuel efficient. That's my guess. Yeah, around town I usually see just older grandmas or someone along those lines driving these things. So we'll see. I don't know how long it'll take to sell, but I want to say thank you for joining. Obviously, when we started this video, it was super hot. I was wearing shorts, and now it's cold, it's raining, and the weather really turned. So this whole process took essentially about 2 months, start to finish. I want to say in the car, probably $1,500, somewhere around there. And I want to list it for around 3 grand. I'll see where the market is on these things. Honestly, I haven't really checked, but I think it looks good. It's black over black. It's the Cabriolet, which I haven't seen another one for sale, and it has the Brabus wheels. So yeah, I guess we'll see. We'll see what will happen.
1 week later.
Hi guys, smart car sold, cash deal, $3,300 minus 20 to them for gas, because they were really nice and cool. They drove up from Salem, but smart car is sold. I am doing paperwork right now. They are actually loading it up on a trailer and heading out. And this process took a week to sell. Lots of interested parties. I was very firm on the price. I think within the first 24 hours, I've had probably 20 people reach out, and offers were between full asking $3,000 and between $2,000 and $3,000. But stayed firm. Honestly, I have no idea how much I made on this car. I want to say I'm around $1,700 in it, so you know, $1,500 or so. But it sold. It was a cool experience. I would definitely buy another smart car. I've spent almost 200 miles driving that car. Enjoyed every single mile of it. I think it's a cool car. I enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your support. Hope you like this video, part 2 of the smart car. Let me know what you guys think. As always, consider subscribing, and I will see you guys in another video.